Drops of water slowly fell from the kitchen faucet. Bang! The tall and thin young man curled up in the corner of the bedroom shook when he heard this sound. He buried his head between his legs and trembled. In a CLA.S. room of the number 80 high school, Li Miao Miao lay on a desk and calmly narrated, "This instance was the strangest instance I have ever seen. There were no bosses or Black Tower monsters. After entering the instance, the Black Tower only told us to find a way to leave the instance. It didn't give us any other conditions." Li Miao Miao spoke slowly. "At first, Chi Hung and I were wary of the man who appeared in the instance. Then we gradually found out that he couldn't see us and we couldn't touch him. He was the official player W.A.N.G. The invisible people could reappear at any time and perhaps the next time would be a stronger, more high-ranking person." Li Miao Miao gave a brief account of what she saw in the instance. It was a dim house where time seemed still. At first, the player called W.A.N.G. still thought about escaping and contacting the outside world. However, he couldn't escape. The windows were sealed while the GLA.S became steel and wouldn't break. The door wouldn't open. When making a call, there was only the reminder that he wasn't in the service area. There was no internet and it was impossible to communicate with the outside world. Li Miao Miao stated, "The time was 7 p.m. on the 17th until 7 a.m. the next morning, in other words, 7 a.m. on the 18th. The first night, Chi Hung and I did nothing but observe the instance. In the morning, the opposite neighbor went out. W.A.N.G. constantly beat on the security door but people couldn't hear him." Ruan W.A.N.Shu added, "This instance is equivalent to separating the house from the outside world and making it a separate instance. It is impossible to leave the instance without clearing the game." Ruan W.A.N.Shu stopped speaking and glanced at Tang Mo. Tang Mo stood in the middle of the CLA.S. room with a calm expression. Ruan W.A.N.Shu had heard from Chi Hung that Tang Mo and Fu Wenduo wanted to enter W.A.N.G's house. They should know W.A.N.G's and even be friends. Now Tang Mo didn't show any abnormalities. He might be hiding it well or they might just be ordinary friends. Tang Mo asked, "He disappeared at 8 o'clock on the 18th? Did he enter the world of the invisible people?" Li Miao Miao shook her head. "No. He isn't an invisible person or an official player. He only half finished the Black Tower game and really died." Li Miao Miao knew that this person was a friend of Tang Mo but she didn't take into account the emotions of the so-called friend. She said directly, "Chi Hung and I spend a total of 5 nights i.e. 60 hours in that instance. The last day before W.A.N.G's death kept repeating. In the end, we found one strange place. It was the clock on the living room wall." Tang Mo wondered, "Clock?" Li Miao Miao's injury seemed to be better and she sat up on the table. Her face was still stained with blood and injuries covered her body. There was a hint of gloating in her eyes when she stared at Tang Mo with her bloodshot eyes. Beijing time, 8 a.m. on November 18, 2017 was when the Earth went online. It wasn't slower or faster by a few minutes. The moment the Earth went online, the Black Tower made a global announcement. All humans who failed to load the game disappeared and entered the world of the invisible people. These are facts that we already know. Fu Wenduo asked, "Then the instance has something to do with time?" Li Miao Miao kept sitting up. "In order to guess this, Chi Hung and I spent 60 hours watching. We saw W.A.N.G's die over and over again, then enter the room over and over again. The relevant word is time. W.A.N.G's predict.I.P. aided in a Black Tower game before returning home. It was a game where he competed with another player to seize each other's time. This was what we were told by the Black Tower. In that game, W.A.N.G's won 5 seconds from the opponent. The other person was eliminated by him and he returned to Earth." Tang Mo was shocked. He slowly raised his head and stared at Li Miao Miao. The people of Tianxian had long known the truth of this instance. Among the Tang Mo quartet, Chen Shanshan also slowly understood the answer. Li Miao Miao saw their expressions and smiled, shaking her head. "Yes, you guessed right. Tang your friend died in the 5 seconds he got. He won 5 seconds. After the game ended and he returned to Earth, he still had the extra 5 seconds. In these 60 hours, the Black Tower went online 4 times. Chi Hung and I had no idea what the Black Tower wanted us to do and what it was thinking. It wasn't until the 3rd time the Earth went online that I noticed when W.A.N.G's was dying, he tried to turn his head and look in the direction of the living room. I think he understood at the end that he got 5 seconds because, the clock on the living room showed 8:00:05. In the last moments of his life, W.A.N.G's heard the Black Tower's words and suddenly understood what he had been missing. He was a smart person, otherwise he wouldn't have won the Black Tower game and became half an official player. However, he lacked information. The second he stepped into his house, he didn't know that his life was 5 seconds longer than the outside world. He didn't know why he suddenly fell into such a strange place. He knew that at 8 o'clock 3 days ago, the Black Tower first spoke and announced the Earth was online. Now the Black Tower spoke again. He looked at his body slowly disappearing and countless thoughts flashed through his mind. In an instant, he understood the truth. He turned his head and saw that the clock was 5 seconds faster than the outside world. But he was too late. He only had one head and one pair of eyes left. It was impossible to switch that time. Thus, he watched the clock and died. Tang Mo quietly looked at Li Miao Miao. "You just needed to adjust that time and won." "Yes, Chi Hung and I took the clock off the wall and turned the second hand back 5 seconds. Then we cleared the instance." Originally, I didn't understand why this type of strange thing was made into a separate instance. I thought W.A.N.G just encountered a very strange instance. Then the Black Tower's update was suspended and I realized that the Black Tower was showing the surviving players that this might happen in the Black Tower games. Li Miao Miao summed it up. This reality instance has no meaning. The only purpose is to warn the players to always pay attention to whether they really cleared the game or not. She saw Tang Mo's calm look and deliberately smiled. You aren't sad? I thought he was your friend. I am sad. The group looked at Tang Mo with surprise. He suddenly spoke about his emotions when he had been behaving very calmly. Even Fu Wenduo didn't expect Tang Mo to answer this question. He looked at Tang Mo with surprise because he thought Tang Mo would ignore Li Miao Miao. The female doctor also had a startled expression. After a long time, she said, I'm sorry. Tang Mo calmly looked at Ruan W.A.N.Shu. I see what you mean. The end of the Black Tower game is likely to affect the player's reality. Tang Mo paused before continuing. In W.A.N.G's case he thought they had cleared the mysterious game and returned to Earth. In fact, the game wasn't over. His time was confused and he was blocked in that S.P.A.ce. He needed to make a move to return to the right timeline before the game really ended. Then did the same thing happen to Mu Huixiu? Ruan W.A.N.Shu said, yes, the same thing likely happened to Mu Huixiu. This would explain why the Black Tower suddenly started the 4.0 version update only to stop. It is because in the moments after completing a game, she opened another game. She didn't really clear the Black Tower's 4th floor. Perhaps she is currently still looking for a way to clear the game. Once she completely clears the Black Tower's 4th floor, the 4.0 version will open. Tang Mo's group of 4 pulled out chairs and sat opposite Ruan W.A.N.Shu. Chen Shan opened her mouth for the second time. Then there are 2 things we need to pay attention to. First, catch the invisible people who are on the time leaderboard. We have to kill as many invisible people as possible while they still don't know that the 2 worlds are combining. Second, attack the Black Tower's 4th floor. The little girl's gaze swept through the CLA.S. room. The people in the CLA.S. room should be the core members of Tianxian. Ruan W.A.N.Shu nodded. Tianxian originally had 6 people and Lian Yuzheng was added afterwards. Now Qi Heng has died and there are 6 people. Chen Shan asked, have all of them cleared the Black Tower's 3rd floor? Ruan W.A.N.Shu replied, Li Miao Miao is on the 2nd floor. Chen Shan glanced at Tang Mo and Fu Wenduo. After gaining their consent, she looked back at Ruan W.A.N.Shu. There is one thing we didn't say previously. Major Fu received a bonus after he said the Black Tower's 3rd floor. The Black Tower suggested that all surviving players should immediately attack the 4th floor. The Black Tower rarely talks nonsense. It just uses mysterious word games. This time its advice is likely related to the invisible people. Ruan W.A.N.Shu fell into a strange silence after hearing Chen Shinshan's words. Tang Mo immediately noticed the strange expression on his face. Then he heard Lian Yuzheng say, we also have something we didn't say. After leader cleared the Black Tower's 3rd floor, he heard a Black Tower boss say it is better to quickly clear the Black Tower's 4th floor. The other person's words were, in any case, you will all die. No one will clear the 4th floor. I don't have to worry about a bunch of dead people. Tang Mo quickly turned to look at Fu Wenduo and the 2 people locked gazes. A few seconds said and Tang Mo quickly made a decision. The matter of joining forces to attack the invisible people can be decided. However, the matter of attacking the 4th floor is our own thing. The appearance of the invisible people is irregular and we can't find So Xiao. It is more important to kill the invisible people and clear the 4th floor. Ruan W.A.N.Shu said, Tianxian has an intelligence network in Beijing. Okay, then we can share information. The 2 sides exchanged the information they had. Then Tang Mo and Fu Wenduo decided to leave here and meet up with Fu Wenzheng. They didn't think that Lian Yuzheng's invitation was a trap but just in case, they had Fu Wenzheng hide in a safe place to wait for news from them. If there was only Chen Shan then they could safely take the little girl away from Tianxian's base. It was harder with the addition of Xiaofu. After determining the general plan of cooperation, Tang Mo turned to leave. At this time, a voice was heard from behind him. Tang Mo, Fu Wenduo, do you want to go straight to the Black Tower's 4th floor? Tang Mo stopped and he turned to look at the pale boy. Tang Mo didn't deny it. Ruan W.A.N.Shu told him, you and Major Fu, the 2 of you should be challenging the Black Tower's 4th floor. With your strategy and force, there shouldn't be a problem clearing the instance. There is a boy in your team who is younger than me. He should have a healing power. But he obviously isn't strong or you would have brought him today. Fu Wenduo's eyes narrowed. What are you trying to say? What do you think about adding a person? Tang Mo smiled. Adding you. Ruan W.A.N.Shu shook his head. Add her. Li Miao Miao, who was pointed at, made a shocked expression. Leader. Ruan W.A.N.Shu didn't answer. He moved his hands and a knife appeared. No one expected him to suddenly cut his wrist. Blood splashed out but Ruan W.A.N.Shu didn't blink. The cut-off hand fell to the ground. Then the still bleeding Ruan W.A.N.Shu extended his bleeding wrist to Li Miao Miao. Leader. The only answer was Ruan W.A.N.Shu's cold gaze. Li Miao Miao's expression changed and she gritted her teeth. A few seconds later, She muttered inaudible words and pressed her hand to Ruan W.A.N.Shu's bleeding wrist. Thick clouds were blown away by the wind and the moonlight shone down on Ruan W.A.N.Shu's wrist. At a rate visible to the naked eye, blood vessels and skin rapidly regenerated and a brand new hand appeared. Tang Mo was shocked and glanced at Li Miao Miao. He saw that Li Miao Miao's hand suddenly disappeared. No blood emerged but her face was a bit ugly, like she was enduring the pain. Then after half a minute, a new hand gradually grew. 10 minutes later, Li Miao Miao raised her left hand and everything was the same. Tang Mo and Fu Wenduo glanced at each other, the two of them instantly understanding. Fu Wenduo had the genetic recombination ability. If he lost limbs then he could quickly grow new limbs. However, his speed definitely wasn't this fast. In addition, it was Li Miao Miao who grew the hand, not Ruan W.A.N.Shu. Ruan W.A.N.Shu explained, this is her ability. You know the first role of her ability. Not only can she hurt herself and transfer pain to others, she can also transfer other people's wounds to herself. Then she will use her powerful self-healing ability to recover. If Li Miao Miao goes then both of you will have one extra life. She is on the Black Tower's second floor and won't increase the difficulty of your instance. In addition, Ruan W.A.N.Shu pulled out a golden coin and threw it to Li Miao Miao. Li Miao Miao hurriedly caught it. Leader? You are giving this to me as well. She also owns a king's gold coin. Ruan W.A.N.Shu looked forward coldly. The invisible people are much stronger than us. We must quickly attack the Black Tower's fourth floor. I have a heavy injury and need a few more days of rest. Thus, he was handing it over to them. Tang Mo's eyes swept over Ruan W.A.N.Shu and Li Miao Miao. Then he smiled and nodded. Okay. One day later ding dong. The Black Tower's fourth floor, normal mode, is officially opened. The team game is loading, sandbox is being generated, sandbox loading complete, welcome to Schrodinger's Steel Forest. Added a KO5 for the people asking for an alternative to Patreon. You can also join my Discord channel to chat with fellow readers about the novels.